All right, we are back. Dynasty Trades in 5, episode 40-ish. I'm Clay.
I'm Shane, and according to focus groups, you hate me.
And I'm Scott, the favorite host of the show. Appreciate it, everybody. Kudos.
All right, so we're talking about Tony Pollard tonight.
Oh.
Let's just get right into it. But obviously, he's a big name right now. If Zeke's gonna be rested, as they say he might be. So Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, so one of the favorite players to talk about for me, I think we've hit on Tony Pollard a couple times in previous videos, like just mentioned his name in terms of being a player that is worth buying especially if you're going like zero RB, modified zero RB. You're just looking for one of these guys that you can buy at a reasonable price that you can start every week and you can just hope that he can get you 8 to 12 points, regardless of who's on the team, who's out there in terms of pass catchers, or if Zeke is out there. But now you have this golden opportunity where he may get, one or two standalone starts. And so then that begs the question, like, this is probably going to be the peak of Tony Pollard's value, assuming that there isn't a situation that you want to wait for 2 years where maybe he goes somewhere else and he becomes a starter. That typically doesn't happen in the NFL anymore. Like, he could be a league winner. He could at least get you to the playoffs over the next week or two, but he's playable regardless. And so I think the move is you got to look at your team. How deep are you at running back? And the sell window is probably going to be as high as it's going to be. So I think you have to just decide, do you want to sell Pollard at his peak, or do you want to bank on Pollard and just say, okay, I'm going to have 1 or 2 weeks of standalone Pollard value. Maybe I sell a more expensive running back on my team and bank that Pollard can get me there. And so that's kind of what you have to weigh.
Yeah, I like that, Scott, because all running backs are evil. As we saw again on Thursday night after I traded for DeAndre Swift, he immediately hurt his shoulder. So just get the hell out on any expensive running back and just get a bunch of these Tony Pollard guys. And this is kind of what you drafted Pollard for, right? 15 years ago or 3 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was. Like, this is the time. I don't think anyone ever thought that he was going to actually take Zeke's job. Maybe crazy truthers. But this is kind of what you hoped for. Like, he should get at least a week or two where he's the guy, right? And we're going to get to see what he could do. I wouldn't trade him now. I mean, I definitely wait until see what happens this week, assuming he gets a start, right? Because his value is not going to drop if he has a bad game. It's just not. Because we'll just say, well, he is what he is. He's a flex guy that we always thought he was a flex guy. But if he goes out and smashes, then everyone's going to buy into the narrative that, like, well, Zeke can be cut because they need to move on from Zeke, and Zeke is 30 and his knees are bad. And I told you Tony Pollard could be the best player in the league. And there's going to be people that buy into that and will pay more for him off of one good game.
So would you, I know has to be a certain circumstance, but would you give a late 22 first for Pollard if you needed a couple wins and you want those points? Are you giving even if it's a 111, 112?
I think if there's clarity that you're going to get 2 standalone starts, then I would be willing to do it. If it's just, hey, Zeke may be questionable for next week, or he may have a limited workload and it be more 60-40 Pollard or something like that, like, that's not really worth giving up a first for. Because I guess here's the thing. If you say, what is a first rounder worth? To me, I think people are going to make the mistake and say, well, Pollard's worth a first now because in 2 years, he's going to leave Dallas and be a starter somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Typically, that, like I said before, that doesn't happen. A team isn't waiting for Tony Pollard to hit free agency so they can give him 21 touches a game. So, no, I don't think I'd give a first unless we get clarity that I'm getting at least 2 starts. Because I do think even if you give a first, I can then turn around and probably sell Pollard for like a mid-second in the offseason. I can basically borrow him and I don't really lose a lot.
You draft him with dreams of one day being able to flip him. That maybe Zeke gets hurt for a few weeks and, he gets to get some run. And this is a situation. If anyone comes to me with a first for him, I don't care if I'm a contender or not. I'm trading him because I can immediately flip that first for something better than Tony Pollard, unless I play in leagues that have trade deadlines and they suck the soul out of me.
I think the move might be Pollard. If you put Pollard on your block and you say, I will trade Tony Pollard for any first that is available in my league. I don't care what year it is. Some of these crazy leagues trade first out 3 years. Any first, no takers, right? Your market is spoken within 48 hours. No takers. Your market is spoken. I think the move is as high as second as you can get. Give me another running back thrown in. Just give me another guy. You know what I mean? That's I'm getting the insulation. That's the old 2-for-1 leverage deal. Give me another running back that could be a league winner if there's an injury. So
Who would you rather have right now? Tony Pollard or Ramondre Stevenson?
Pollard.
Yeah, Pollard. At least I know, even when Zeke is healthy, that he has a role every week. I have literally no idea from game to game what Ramondre Stevenson or Damian Harris is, who's going to be the guy there.
Well, here's one for you. Let's say Dalvin Cook's out for the season. Pollard or Madison?
Madison.
Pollard or Dillon?
Dillon.
See? Man, that just tells you right there that there's other guys that are just like this that are going to be trading for similar coin, if not worth more.
Yeah, and Dillon to me is more unique because I think next year we're looking at he slowly takes over and it's the 60-40 split in his favor over Aaron Jones.